Australian Gamers Friday Night Podcast. I'm Yug.
And I'm Matt.
Tonight we'll be talking about the attack of the gaming conventions.
Possibility of a new PSP early next year.
Bully gets an M rating in Australia.
And Coke has a brand new can.
Yes, it does. How is that related to gaming?
In no way. I just thought it was interesting and worth mentioning.
What kind of can is it?
It's actually very similar to the can that they have Red Bull and stuff in. It's got that that glossy, silky kind of red. Well,
the long thin one.
The long thin one, but like the colours are similar styles as well. Like it's not the bright red of the normal cans.
So
it's
what
kind
you're
of
saying
a glossy,
is
silky.
Coke has conformed to the standards of Red Bull and V.
Well, I think they're going for like a more trendy market. They're going for that trendy club sort of market.
Leaving Pepsi in the dust sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess so. I think they're just all branching out and doing exciting new things. And
I don't really care.
This is not in any way related to gaming.
Not really.
Our apologies for already getting off track. We didn't even have a track and we're already off it.
Alright, let's talk about the first one.
The first one is pretty important.
Gaming convention. Now, I thought they
don't actually attack. Just for the record, there's no danger. In fact, we are advocating these conventions.
Oh, yes, they do.
Ooh.
I just wanted to disagree with you.
Yeah, no, fair cool.
Now, there's a lot of. Considering about this time or earlier this year or any other time this year, I don't actually
ever in
remember
the history of mankind
really being any gaming expos or conventions
in Australia.
Yeah, there's been the industry ones, the game developers association
and stuff.
I probably got that wrong.
The GDQAP.
Sorry, the GDGAGO.
Yeah, no, I just made up letters as well.
Which has been in Melbourne and stuff like that. And of course, there's been the smaller publisher-based events. Like last year, we went to EA Imagine, and this year there was an Ubisoft thing as well, which Oracle didn't go to. Might I add, he was supposed to be there representing. When I say tonight, I mean Thursday night, Australian Gamer, but he didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, something about someone dying
about his girlfriend
and having to go to a funeral.
Oh, what a sook.
I know.
What a whiner.
I know.
Whiner baby.
Yeah. It's just, where's the dedication, honestly?
Yeah. Unless he died.
Even then.
Which would...
You know what, even then...
I'd let him off. I wouldn't be too angry. I'd still be pissed, but I wouldn't be,
to his face, sort of thing.
Yeah, I'd bitch about him behind his back.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's
But
fine.
we probably wouldn't mention it on the podcast.
Anyway, and now we've actually got suddenly just a lot of really good quality-looking expos coming up.
There is a glut.
A glut?
Yes, there is a glut of
is that
expos.
A word?
Yes, it is.
What's it mean?
A lot. It means, too many. It's too many.
Now, how many people out there do you think actually know what a glut means?
I'd say a glut.
Just...
No. What? You walked into it. What choice did I have? But yeah, there is quite a few
anyway,
coming up.
let's just go through them and just talk a little bit about
them.
Now, we're going to go in terms of when they actually are on.
No, let's not, because let's leave one till last. We'll talk about Game 1 last, because we'll talk about it more.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, you've got the Supernova, which is in Sydney, in Sydney Olympic Park on October the 27th to the 29th.
Just to repeat ourselves, because I thought this was funny last time, I said exactly the same thing. It's not an actual supernova. It is just an event for comics.
It's
you're
not going to go to it
joke,
and explode.
No, you won't be.
You won't be caught in
you won't be caught in an exploding star. It is just a comic event.
That's
for anyone.
Because tell you what, if that was the case and I paid my $10 to go, I'd feel ripped off.
I would complain to management. I came here. I did not expect to burn in the sun. I'm not happy.
Not happy. But now this is a continuation of the Supernova that was at Brisbane.
Yeah.
You can all go to the website, and if you look in the features section back a few, you'll see that me and Matt did extensive coverage of Supernova in Brisbane. So go check that out, and it's a very similar thing. Even Summer Glau is going to be at the Sydney one. We might... anyway. And there's most of the other things that were at Sydney.
Yeah, we would expect the same sort of thing. We were mostly there to cover the video games.
The video games. Now this one's
developers
a little bit up in the air. I'm not quite sure how much video game actual presence is going to be there, because now there's a massive video game developer industry in Queensland, and there is a very strong showing. A lot of people in Sydney. there's not so much a big presence for the game developers. You've got... Yeah?
Excuse
okay,
me.
that's great, thanks.
I think I'm getting a cold or something.
Good.
I'm not very happy
I hope
about
you
it.
get sick and die.
Harsh but fair.
And... Yeah, as far as...
But there is publishers, so maybe the publishers will do promo themselves.
It's not really... Is it really that kind of a...
I don't know. Maybe it will become so.
Maybe. I know from speaking to the organisers that they were fairly confident that they'd get some sort of gaming thing down there. So maybe we should actually do some research and look into that. And actually find out.
We'll just talk blindly with no idea what we're talking about.
Sounds good. Well, anyone
Keep
wants
up the
to know
tradition.
about it, go to the Supernova website at www.supernova something.
It's actually SUPANOVA. It's not spelled like
see,
a
it's not an
supernova.
exploding star.
No,
How
no.
could you possibly think otherwise?
Well,
It's spelt completely
I didn't
differently.
think so. I didn't think so, but the people who are listening probably aren't aware of the spelling.
Right, okay.
Yeah, you see?
Anyway, the next one coming up is next one after that is E-Games and Entertainment Expo, and that's going to be in Sydney, held between November the 17th to the 19th, and that's at the Melbourne Exhibition Centre. Now, this one looks to be fairly significant.
Yep.
There's a lot of major media actually sponsoring it, all the radio stations, PC Power Play, Hyper, and all that kind of stuff. And
Well, yeah, in particular, Next Entertainment, I believe, who own PC Power Play, Atomic, and Hyper. So
that makes sense then, doesn't it?
yeah, it'll be that one publishing company that's supporting it. So.
And I mean, some of the exciting things about this event is that Nintendo and Sony are both going to be showcasing the Wii and the PlayStation 3
which is
stuff
excellent. Yeah.
there, which is very, very cool.
Yeah.
I don't really know that much else about it.
Bearing in mind, of course, that this is, as we said, the 17th to the 19th of November, so those products will be close to out.
Yeah, but they won't be out.
No, of course not. But you can see why they would want to be there.
Okay, fair call. It's very much e-games and entertainment expo. There's also as well as games. There's also electronic, interactive stuff. Music, mobile phones,
digital
portables,
music,
home theaters, and stuff like that. So
computers.
it's very
stuff.
all-encompassing of that kind of things as well, which is good because generally, if you play video games, you tend to be interested in that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
Geeky.
There's some anime stuff there as well, apparently, which could be interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because we like anime. Anime is good.
Yes,
Semi-naked cartoon girls with giant breasts. That's what we need.
That's what you need. You need that.
Yeah. Didn't I just say that?
Yeah, you did.
Right.
Now the other one is, and not actually an event to the public, but I did want to bring it up because it is a big and significant one.
Yeah.
Which is Game Connect, which is basically replacing the Australian Game Award. I wish I could remember
the one we
name.
didn't know what it was called before, and we still don't know.
I do know it. I've got a mental blank at the moment.
It's because you've got no
Don't
brain.
say anything, because whatever you're about to say was obviously derogatory towards me.
Everything I plan to say from now on is derogatory towards you. I think if we just establish that as a rule that I'm not allowed to say anything mean about you, we will have no podcast.
Yeah, right, fair enough. No one really listens to you anyway.
True. Nor should they.
I remember that podcast where I didn't actually say anything for about 5 to 10 minutes?
Yeah. It's the best podcast we ever did.
No, apparently everyone just stopped listening about halfway through.
Really? Just turned it off?
Yeah, I checked the stats.
Wow. You checked the stats?
Yeah.
You could see from the stats where people hit pause or stop.
Absolutely.
Really? Those are some interesting stats. You want to show me those stats later?
Yes. I will show you those stats. I tell you what, I'll copy them into Photoshop and send you a completely legitimate, non-doctored version of those stats.
Photoshop is my stats package.
Game Connect is something else that I really should have researched now I think about, but I'm pretty sure it's an awards thing.
Yeah, it is.
It's awards, and it's also furthering...
It's for the games industry. This isn't a public event, and it's not a media event either. It's actually an industry event, a games industry event. With awards for, best game, most gratuitous nudity in a game.
Well, I think so. I think it's going to be
like
that.
That's not really true. But
I know, once again, we should...
The bit up to the gratuitous nudity was cool.
The point is, it's trying to get all the people in the game development industry to one place to celebrate that they are game developers and stuff like that.
It's also not just Australia. It's actually held in Brisbane, this one, isn't it?
It is.
This one's held in Brisbane, and we actually won't be there, which is interesting, but... But Australian Game will have a presence there, so it's cool.
Let's see if we
have
can
a
convince Jess
roving reporter.
We'll get Jess.
Hey,
to go.
Jess.
Hey, Jess. Jess.
Do you want to go to an event?
What are you doing?
In Brisbane. What are you doing on the
30th of November to the 2nd of December?
From Thursday to Saturday. What are you doing, Jess? Jess.
Yeah, Jess.
So, also, this is despite the fact that it's in Brisbane, it is actually Asia Pacific. It's not just Australia. It is actually Australia, New Zealand, and pretty much large chunks of Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
So, mostly Australia will probably be the largest presence, but it's not purely Australian.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
All right, and
the most important one.
No, there's actually one more, which is of all things, and this is one which has got a big lead up to it, actually, considering where it is. It's on March the 30th to April the 1st, which is my birthday, might add.
April 1st. April Fool's Day. Everyone, April Fool's Day is Guy's birthday. What are the odds?
Yug. You've done that twice in 2 podcasts.
Yeah, because I've been talking to you in various professional contexts.
Professionally.
Yeah. True. Yug. Poo face.
Yeah, April 1st is my birthday. Anyway,
April Fool's Day.
Yes, we got that.
No,
I was born after 12.
No, I'm just labouring the point. That's all. I just think it's important. Yeah, good one.
Geo 3, Electronic Entertainment Expo 2007 in Perth. Now, don't get me wrong, all the people living in Perth, I've heard about your city. I think it's
a
cool,
great city, fine city.
But Perth is a little, and it's just a little far out. Like,
Perth has a moat. Perth has a moat, basically. It has a moat on one side of water, and it's a very large moat. And on the other side, it has a moat of Australia.
Look, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's actually really cool that there's going to be this massive game, and it does look to be pretty significantly big, right? And I mean, they're starting to talk about it now, and there's already buzz about it now. It's like 6 months away. But it's fantastic. It's in Perth, great. But I mean, Perth is really far out of the way. It is a big deal for people from Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane to travel to Perth.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if there's an event in Sydney, well, you tend to be, if you live in Brisbane or Melbourne, you're like, yeah, all right, it's in Sydney, so it's like understandable. But Perth is actually quite a distance.
Yeah, and it's quite expensive to get to Perth. Like a lot of companies are going to have to travel their stuff and all that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of actual local,
and
developers or publishers over in Perth.
No, so everyone's going to have to come from Brisbane to blah blah blah. The publishers from Sydney, the developers from Brisbane, and all those kind of things are going to have to go all the way over there.
You know, in the same respect, if we lived in Perth right now, I'd be singing their praises. I'd be, this has been waiting to happen for ages.
It's about time.
That's right.
We got treated like the rest of Australia.
That's right, as we deserve to be.
Yeah, of course, we deserve that kind of thing because Perth
it was bound to happen eventually.
Yeah, Perth has a strong and vibrant gaming industry, and it's time we got taken seriously as a market.
There's so many fans here in Perth.
Yeah, absolutely. Fans. It's a huge market here, and it's good that they're taking it seriously.
That's right.
But we don't.
But we're not in Brisbane. Perth.
We're not in Brisbane.
But look, anyway, that does actually look really quite cool.
We'll talk about that more. We'll talk about that more as time goes on, because undoubtedly there'll be, more information.
Stuff to talk about.
Yeah, more stuff.
Yes. And anyway, yes, the last one.
The last one and the most important by far.
Which I suppose you might think we're going to shamelessly talk about.
You would almost think we were going to plug it continuously until you get bored with it.
But we are, actually.
That is the plan. I think that's what our marketing strategy is.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the one we'll talk about is there's Game 1. And Game 1 is happening in... I should know this off the top of my head by now. It's in the 4th and the 5th of November at the Melbourne Exhibition Centre. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
November
it is.
4th and 5th at the Melbourne
and the 2nd and 3rd of December in Sydney at the Sydney Showgrounds Olympic Park. And it's... Now, the thing is, if anyone's heard of Auto Salon, or... I'd never actually heard of Auto Salon before. It's a massive car... Well, isn't it a car magazine, or...
I think there's a car magazine
the car show is based on, or something like that.
I'm not sure.
Anyway,
I'm not into that sort of thing.
They're massive, they're massive car shows sort of thing. And apparently they did a survey of all their readers and people that go to these shows, and not really surprisingly, found out that most of them play, and enjoy video games.
Overwhelmingly, they're gamers.
And we're talking about like an event that gets about these
70,000.
70,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and we were actually contacted by the people asking for the organisers of the event, asking for advice, suggestions, and input and things like that. And more than anything, they really sounded like genuine.
Yeah.
They genuinely had an interest. I mean, they've got. I guess the difference between them and other gaming conventions. Not that I'm saying the other ones won't be good. I'm sure they'll be fantastic. They might be better, and everything like that. We're going to go. More the merrier, I guess. But these guys aren't exactly bound by dollars or anything like that. They're not relying on some publisher to come and sponsor. They've got the money to throw at this thing. They've got the money. They've got the people that are already coming. All they really want is to actually target this and make it a fantastic.
They're doing it for gamers. It's much more for gamers. It's much less for publishers or for developers or for. It's for gamers. So it's for you guys. It's for everyone who's listening to this to enjoy and have some fun and.
Well, anyway, the things that they've already announced is there's going to be a 36-hour gaming tournament, which is pretty long.
Yep,
really,
especially if you're winning.
Yeah, and I think they were talking around about $60,000 up for grabs in cash and prizes from this tournament.
Yeah, we're not talking about over the whole thing. There'll be a certain number of prizes. This is just for the major tournaments. Big money prizes for professional gamers, which is
pretty
great.
Significant. Now, Nintendo's also going to be showcasing the Wii at this one as well. I don't know if PlayStation are actually.
They only have confirmed a presence apparently, but they haven't confirmed that they're bringing the PS3 along with them.
Okay, all right.
So,
and of course,
we would expect they would. I mean, it's not like they're gonna 2 days before the launch of their. I mean, or the month of the launch of their new console, just not going to have one.
I mean, pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, with any of these expos, at least the ones that are solely about video games and targeted towards gamers, not the industry or anything like that, all they've really got to do is just get the publishers there and get the publishers to show off stuff that we haven't played yet and we haven't seen yet here in Australia, and give us some hands-on time with the Wii. Give us some cool stuff to do and look at, and in the case of Game 1, get a really good actual legitimate tournament going. I think they're also going to have we'll push for a local game development sort of area as well at the expo. They were saying that there's going to be that as well. Not sure how that'll conflict with the Game Connect thing actually, but
yeah, we'll see. Yeah. That's their problem, really.
And obviously, the most important thing about Game 1,
I know, of course, why we can guarantee everyone will be there.
Why you would go there is because we're going to be there.
Yeah, we'll have a little stall.
We're going to actually have an Australian Gamer booth.
Yeah, we'll have a booth. We're hoping to get booth babes. Well, I'm hoping to get booth babes.
Actually, I mean, this is something we were talking. I've actually got a mate of mine in Sydney. This is my idea. What do you have an idea? I've got an idea.
You had an idea.
Because this thing, I
liked your idea.
We don't sell games.
You got me.
We don't publish games. We don't.
You had me at midget.
Okay, yeah, I've got a mate of mine in Sydney who's a midget, and I was thinking of actually just. He used to do street performances and stuff like that, and bring him to the Melbourne one, then get him at the Sydney one, and just have our booth with AustralianGamer.com plastered on the back of it, with a performing circus midget just doing tricks.
Because we got nothing. I mean, what are we going to do? Sit there and write an in-depth article?
Yeah.
Like, draw something? What are we going to do? We're not selling games. We're not making games. We're not selling anything. We have nothing to offer anywhere.
If anyone who's listening... anyone listening to this...
No, you are actually right. Because you were saying, if anyone who is listening to this...
Yeah.
And you could have just said, has an idea.
If anyone who is listening to this has an idea...
See, but you haven't implied that only people who are listening to this would hear. You haven't said...
if anyone who is listening... Okay, got it.
So you were actually fine.
Oh, good. Thank God. Yeah. I was just waiting for you to pull me up.
No, you were right. Right up to the point where you stopped and went, oh my God.
How'd I go?
Oh my God.
How was that go? Yeah, so, look, I mean, not to be presumptuous?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I gotta stop.
Depending on what you're trying to say. If you're trying to say not to be a complete freaking moron, then that's the wrong word. Presumptuous is wrong. But if you're trying to say to presume, then that's the right word.
I actually don't know.
Because you didn't finish your previous sentence, which was that if anyone out there who's listening has an idea,
Okay, stop.
Talk to us.
Stop. This is boring. Even me now. My own ramblings have bored me. So.
Wow, you've gone so off topic you can't even find your way back. That's so bad. But yeah, we basically, like, we're going to have a midget or something. We're going to do something stupid because...
Well, actually, the other thing... the other
fun.
idea we had was, like, get a big TV, plasma TV or something, and hook up, like, an old Super Nintendo and a Mega Drive and just sit there and play games.
We don't want, like, Lost Planet or... the latest and greatest and cool stuff. Because
that's going to be everywhere
else.
That's going to be everywhere else in the...
We want games. We want Sonic the Hedgehog or...
Frankly, I just want somewhere
Super Nintendo
or
Mario Kart.
It's not
even the fancy GameCube version. Super Nintendo.
I think
NES,
that'd be fun.
Mega Drive.
I reckon that'd be fun. Get some really old school consoles
Go the old
and
school.
just hook them up. It's either that, a dancing midget, or... I don't know, the only other idea I had before any of them was getting one of those dunking booths. You know, there's ones that you sit in and people try and throw things at you in the water.
Let me guess, who's going to be in that booth?
Oh, well, I don't know, I was thinking you, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Why am I surprised?
I don't know, I could, like, be the ringleader guy, standing around with a cane.
Yeah.
Step right up, and dunk Matt.
Dunk the nerd.
Yeah, dunk the nerd! It'd be great with a big dunk the nerd.
Yeah, that would be so good.
We'll probably get, the Melbourne one, I'd imagine AJ will probably be there, and the Sydney one, probably Oracle will be there as well. So if anyone would like, a custom-drawn crappy picture,
we'll get Oracle to do it.
We'll get Oracle to do it, or AJ, or Matt.
Me?
Actually,
that'd be bad. I can't draw stick figures.
I don't know. We know we're not important enough to sit around.
Yeah, I mean, we're not Gabe and Tucker. We're not going to do the packs. We're not going to have our own.
No.
Our own convention anytime
no,
soon.
No, we can't even. We can't even update our own website.
No, we're having enough trouble with that. So
yeah, look, if anyone has any ideas, love you to throw them out there. And if you're in Sydney or Melbourne, or if you're going to go to the Game One thing, say hi.
Yeah, if you are actually, because it would be. We're going to have a lot of people coming up and saying, "Who the hell are you?"
Yeah,
so it would be good to have people coming up and saying,
around going,
"Hey,
I
you're
know,
Matt and Yug from Australian Gamer."
Yug.
Yug. Matt and Yug. You're Matt and Yug from Australian Gamer.
It sounds weird when you call me
I know.
Even outside of Australian Gamer, Matt's always called me Yug.
Just Yug.
Because that's my name when we used to work together.
Yeah.
Long story. So it's just weird. Stop doing it.
Yes, guy. Yes, Yug. I shall be good. I shall behave. Anyway.
We've actually been rambling on for about 20
minutes.
Yeah,
we've got 4 topics and this is one.
No, look, the last topic, Coke has a new can, is not a topic. Alright.
Granted. Alright, so the other...
new PSP.
US PlayStation magazine.
Go along with Wii.
Anyway. US PlayStation magazine's announced a leak that the PSP is going to be remodeled in some way and have new features added. Probably the most interesting of these features is the addition of an 8 gig internal memory. That's a pretty big deal.
It is.
That's a lot of memory. And actually, to be honest, I think probably too much memory. I think that'll cost too much for them to actually bother doing.
Well, there's... Maybe.
The cost of flash, like the cost of manufacture and so on,
is
relatively high.
Yeah, but if it's internal memory, that might be a little bit different.
They still have to make it.
Anyway, I mean, to be honest, from everything that you've... I mean, I don't own a PSP. I don't play it all that often, to be honest. I think it looks pretty and shiny, and I usually go for things like that, but I don't travel, so I don't really find the need for a handheld. But from all that you've told me about the Sony PSP and all the problems you've had trying to get to do anything else apart from play games, and even then, sometimes actually trying to get to play games has been difficult.
Because you've got to do
8
upgrades
gigs worth of memory sounds like a really cool idea if it
does.
Gets its firmware.
I still just don't think that it's... I just think that's a bit too much. I just don't think that 8 gig is practical. I think we might well see an internal memory, but it'd probably be closer to 4 or maybe 2. I just think 8's a bit too much. And I think it needs an internal memory.
Then again, I mean, when you start to look at it, I mean, you've got
if that
the
is
Xbox
early
360
next year,
with, like, it's only a 20 gig, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 20 gig.
PlayStation 3 is coming with a 40 and a 60, though, isn't it? Or 2 different versions?
I can't remember now. Something like that.
I don't think 8 gig is excessive, to be honest. I mean,
no, but it's not a hard drive, dude.
Okay, no. Oh, isn't it? What?
No, it'll be flash.
Oh.
And flash is expensive.
Okay. Oh, that's different. But, I mean, it works the same as a hard drive, doesn't it?
In no way at all.
Right.
Do you mean from a technical point of view or actually using it?
Just
for
using
user?
it.
No, it should work.
It's like,
pretty much
so
the same.
you're saying 8 gig, a little card, card?
No, it'll probably be more or less the same basic technology, but it'll be built in. It'll be inside. It won't be removable. It will be built in. Okay, sorry.
There would be a reason that they would use a flash, 8 gig of flash, as opposed to 8 gig internal.
As opposed to a hard drive. Yeah, power usage, weight, size, cost.
Right.
Oh, sorry, not cost so much, but probably the actual cost of building it in. Because flash is quite small. So it's relatively easy to build in. I think 8 gig is going to be too expensive for them to bother. Don't forget they have to sell this thing for a price as well, and they can't increase the price.
You're talking about like the company that's selling a console for $1,000.
Yeah, I know, and that's been criticised, but that's the PlayStation 3.
And this is the
PlayStation 3, and this is just the PSP Mark II.
Your voice just went lower for a second there when you said,
because
the PlayStation.
I know that was because I was doing like a dramatic.
The PlayStation 3. Of death.
What happened to you? Did you smoke crack while we were talking before?
No,
because I heard a little sort of sound, and I assumed you weren't.
No, I haven't had dinner, and I didn't have much lunch. I think it's just all suddenly hit me. Just the whole fact that my body's turned around and gone, you know what? We don't really have much to go on right now.
we got nothing. We're going to remove any energy from the brain, and we're going to just put it in the vital systems. And keep your heart going.
It might be worthwhile pointing out too. This is probably the first
codcast
in so long that I'm not actually drinking at all.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. We need to get. This man needs bourbon. Stat. Anyway,
what's that?
I don't know.
I mean, was that short for something?
I always wondered that, and I think it might have been still for like status.
10 milligrams of adrenaline.
Stat. What's
you
that?
mean, would you like statistics on that? Yes, actually, I would. Was that a good idea? I don't know.
Did that sound good in your head?
Yes.
Interesting.
So does everything.
Right. This PSP basically will be the PSP Lite, pretty much. It's what they're trying to do. What they did with the DS.
No, we don't know that, actually.
There is also rumours. Well, no, it's basically the same concept, is to remodel it.
It's going to go one of two ways. I mean, you look at. It's going to go either the way of the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color, where it's a significant upgrade. There's also rumours that they're going to actually add 2 joysticks
at a
to
second
the PSP.
one. At a second analog.
A second analog stick.
In my opinion,
yeah,
they should.
Right.
And in my opinion, they should have in the first place.
Absolutely.
Because that control scheme was so much what things were based on.
If they actually put 2 joysticks on the thing, then there's going to be a bit of problem.
Compatibility.
If new games come out that only support the 2 joysticks, or
I think what they'll have to do is basically make it so that any games that come out will have to support both. Yeah. Both possible control schemes.
I mean, not that it's
and it's entirely possible that won't happen. That they just won't add the analog. Some of the other things that are apparently going to happen is just an overall design change, making it a bit thinner and a bit lighter, which I don't think is that necessary because it's pretty sexy as it is. The DS needed a renovation, but I don't think the PSP does particularly.
Oh, quickly on that note, just got an email today actually.
Yeah.
DS Black is actually coming into Australia on the 21st of September.
We pretty much knew it was coming, but it's good to have confirmation. It's good to have a time.
So that's good.
Because it is a sexy little thing.
That's actually the first. I actually signed up for Nintendo's press release email list like months ago. That's the first email I've ever gotten from them. So they tend to be fairly sparse with their press releases.
So anyway.
Sorry, that was it.
Another thing is apparently they're looking at a built-in camera. Actually building a camera into the PSP, which is quite interesting. And the last thing is a redesigned slot for the UMD. I'm not really sure why, but if that makes them happy, then go ahead.
Just similar to what they did with the PlayStation 2, where the PlayStation 2 had the sliding open and closed thing, and then the redesigned one had a flip top.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe they're just like redesigning.
I think they'll basically just shovel a bunch of stuff around and make it look different. If it even happens, it could be garbage. Yeah. But I don't think it's unreasonable to expect a redesign early next year. Probably close to sort of Marchish.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We shall see.
Anyway, there was one other thing that we did want to briefly talk about.
Fairly briefly.
Which is Bully.
Bully. I don't know.
No, me neither. And we were talking a bit about Bully recently.
Last week, yeah.
Even though I know you actually think the game looks pretty cool.
I'm interested. I actually think it looks like it'll be a cool game.
I'm a little bit meh, but that's cool. You play it. That's good. It actually got an M rating here in Australia. It's been
not even MA, so
Office of Film
really
and Literature classification. Yeah, not even MA.
Really
MA is our highest here.
Yeah.
And M is just on that. And I got an M rating. So for all the fuss, everyone going absolutely nuts, it's didn't even get an MA rating.
If this game was being bought out by, say, Mythic or Eidos,
yeah,
no one would have paid attention to it. I mean, people would have paid attention and gone, "Oh, that looks like an interesting game." But because it was Rockstar and because it was the next game from the Grand Theft Auto people who are corrupting our children and making murder simulators, then that needs to be watched in a totally different light.
And ping pong simulators.
Well, and ping pong.
Watch out for that.
Yeah, actually,
that's dangerous stuff.
Warping the minds of our sporting youth.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they just get in there innocently enough.
And the next minute
they're ping pong, and the next thing they're just chopping people's heads off with ping pong bats.
Again, in your head, that was good, right?
I thought they came out alright.
No, you were wrong.
No, I know I was wrong, but wasn't it funny? Just a bit?
I think you have to let our listeners... We'll put a vote. Can we put polls on the forum?
Yeah.
Do we have the technology for that?
Yes, we do. Do you even go to the forums?
I do. I go and I read them, and occasionally I reply quickly, usually with abuse about you. And then I get back to the work I'm supposed to be doing.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
Fair enough.
So, Bully looks to be given an open door into Australia.
Yes.
And that's a good thing.
There was something else I actually wanted to briefly mention.
I'm not going to like this, am I?
Yeah, you're going to think it's fine. This is actually just for people who are in Brisbane. Sorry, everyone else. You can probably switch the podcast off now.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. See you next week.
Anyway.
Bye.
Yep.
Right. Anyone in Brisbane, the Valley Fiesta is actually coming up on the 15th and 17th of September. And it's not been heavily promoted yet, but we're actually organising a gaming section at the Valley Fiesta where we're getting Chrome, Pandemic, and with any luck, the Creative Assembly to actually come down with some big... I was about to say F off, but I can't say that, can I?
Unless you can say that.
Okay. Some big plasma TVs and stuff. We got a projector set up, and they're basically going to show off their games, talk about their companies. You can come and ask them, how do I get a job with you, because I want to work with you. Talk about their upcoming games and stuff like that. So yeah, I just thought that's pretty cool. Oh, and the Xbox 360 car will be there, and
it's good. I mean, if you're in Brisbane, you should come and check out the Valley Fiesta anyway, because there'll be some pretty cool music. And Tex Perkins is playing.
Well, TNT, it's Tex Perkins and Tim Rogers.
Tim Rogers, was it?
For some reason they call themselves TNT now.
Tex and Tim.
Yeah, I don't know. And Regurgitator and Katie Milhinky, Winnie Coopers, and other people as well.
And others.
But yeah, look, the gaming thing's gonna be there, and you should come and check it out. And we'll be running around, organising stuff there.
Yeah.
Too. That's it. Do you have anything else to say?
No, we're good. I think we should go away now.
It's fairly organised, actually, all things considered.
It was almost professional.
Almost. Not quite.
Almost.
It's sort of hazed off a little bit. We should really not talk about our podcast at the end of our podcast.
No, we shouldn't. We probably shouldn't give ourselves a mini review at the end.
No.
We probably should just...
It sounds a little bit wankerish, don't you think?
It is a little bit self-absorbed. I think we should probably just...
I mean, to be honest, half this podcast we've just been talking about ourselves anyway. Hey, we're going to be at this event.
Oh, we'll be doing this.
We'll be doing this.
Look what we got.
You know, so...
We should probably talk about some games or something at some point.
Maybe we should actually stop the podcast.
yeah, right about now.
Thanks for tuning in,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye-bye.